Now, in Canada, they arrest you now in school if you won't take your inoculations. Here's an article here. It came out first in the National Post, and I'll put links up for them too at cuttingthroughthematrix.com. Boy didn't want needle and throws tantrum, charged with threatening. Police say they take school threats seriously, so seriously they charged a 12-year-old boy who threw a tantrum in his elementary school because he didn't want to take a vaccination needle. Durham Regional Police said officials from Ross Tilley Public School in Bowmanville, an hour east of Toronto, called them around 12:30 p.m. on Wednesday. The school had been administering vaccinations for hepatitis B, and the boy had become upset at the prospect of a needle. Well, that's still called, by the way, that's still called invasive surgery. I hope you realize you're supposed to give anything that's stuck into you and pierces your tissue is invasive surgery. Anyway, it says, while talking to school staff, he threatened to cause damage to the school. This is what they're saying. The police said in a news release, probably they'd locked him in at the door or something. Officers consulted with the Crown's Attorney's Office and charged the boy with threatening. A criminal charge, police said, was justified due to the age of the child and concerns over public safety. See, we've had it, folks. This is... they can do it with you as they wish. And if you don't comply, they'll say you're a danger to the public safety, and that's it, you're arrested. Anyway, it says he made a verbal threat against the school. It's supposed he said he was going to sue them. Maybe that was a verbal threat, wouldn't it? That's all it would take. And there's another site too on the same topic about this boy. I'll put that up too. And it says that officers consulted with the Crown Attorney's Office charged the boy with threatening, a criminal charge which police said was justified due to the age of the child and concerns over public safety. This may or not be true. However, at no time did there appear to be any concern for this child's welfare. Not in these days, it's not. There may have been many reasons why the 12-year-old didn't want to be vaccinated. Well, I don't want to be vaccinated. These range from being afraid of the needle to being worried about the possible side effects. It could be that hepatitis B is in fact a disease that is mainly transmitted through sexual intercourse or sharing dirty drug needles, which of course it is. And it gives you a link on this site too for the side effects of hepatitis B vaccine, and they're pretty drastic. They're really nasty stuff. It appears from the report that it's perfectly okay to give this vaccine to the children at school, but it's clearly not an option for any child to refuse to have it. Having the police brought into school sends out the message to the other children, and that's very important, folks. That's the truth here, that they must not refuse the vaccine. Clearly this child did not want to have the vaccine and was subsequently treated like a criminal and an animal as a result. But it says, but is it perfectly okay to force vaccination or vaccinate a child if that child refuses the vaccine? Hospitals and schools are supposed to use a law called the Gillick Law. Gillick laws, G-I-L-L-I-C-K, to establish whether a child is competent enough to decide whether they want or do not want a medical procedure. When a parent doesn't want their child to have a vaccine, a child has a right to decide that they want the vaccine and overrule their parents' wishes by using the Gillick Law, a recent document entitled the Royal College of Nursing. It says, Signpost Guide, Nurse-Led Immunization of School-Aged Children explains the Gillick Law as follows. Even if a child is under 16, he or she might be able to give consent to medical treatment, providing that they have sufficient understanding of the proposed procedure. Well, what's the proposed? We're going to stick this in you, this mush in you, and inject it into your system. That's a procedure. However, a child may also refuse medical treatment, even if the treatment is life-saving. Although the Gillick Law originally was approved for use in England, it's now used worldwide. And I'll give you a link to that as well. It says the following article explains how this law has been applied to cases in Canada. There's another link as well. When children refuse medical treatment, the role of government and assessments, a standardized test to assess a child's maturity and understanding would help judges in their Solomonic roles to render more uniform decisions in Canada. So there you go. I mean, if any child who's been on the internet and saw how they made this stuff and the bloody mush that it all comes from, and it is a bloody mush, by the way, should be shaking their boots. That stuff's getting injected into you. And they always have on these things too, and I've read them last week on some of them. They can't guarantee that it won't kill you. They can't guarantee that it'll even help you. We don't know. It might and it might not. And so all these legalistic ways out in case anything good happens to you. But that's your rights nowadays. If you're a child, you must do what the state tells you. You're owned by the state now. That's what they're telling you. You're owned by the state. And in schools too, with their zero tolerance policies, won't take any back-mouthing from any child who stands up for their rights and says no. They won't take that. That's taken as aggression. And there's another term for it now. It's in the famous psychiatric book of mental illnesses, if you stand up and talk back. So it's ridiculous what we're into the scientific age now, where we're nothing more, as I say, than Pavlovian dogs being conditioned to be shocked or to be patted on the head if we're awfully good and do what we're told. That's where we are today. That's really where we are.